Hello, everyone, and welcome to Release Readiness Live. It's been great to be here all week to talk about some of the great new features in Spring 19. I'm Elna Miller, your community moderator. Now, today in our final webcast for the week, we're going to be talking about Community Cloud, and we have the team from the Communities team today. What I love about Release Readiness Live is no matter what type of trailblazer you are, whether this is your first release or your 20th, you will learn something new that you can use. And our product managers are right here in the studio. They're going to be doing live demos and taking some of your questions on the air. And speaking of questions, I'm excited to welcome back our original community rock star, Sam Acuff, who's going to tell us how we're going to take questions today. Sam.
Thanks, Elena. And it's very, very easy. All you have to do is remember to use the hashtag Salesforce Live. Now, we take questions out in the Release Readiness Trailblazer group out on the Trailblazer community, or we take them in Twitter. The trick is use the hashtag Salesforce Live. Now, we do have a policy of no questions left behind, so if we don't get to your question on the air, we will follow up in the next few days to make sure that you get a personal answer. So again, it's very simple. Hashtag Salesforce Live. And Elna, back to you.
Great. Thank you, Sam. We're looking forward to your questions. And also, we are recording this webcast as we have all week, so don't worry if you miss any of it. You can always watch it back later. And also, since we may be making some forward-looking statements or talking about the roadmap, I just want to remind you to make sure that any purchasing decisions you make are based on currently available functionality. That's our forward-looking statement. Many of you may have seen it a couple of times. So with that, let's introduce our product managers, starting with Sudhir.
Yeah, thanks, Elna. Hi, everybody. My name is Sudhir Bakru. I'm a product manager on the Community Cloud team. Really excited to be here and looking forward to presenting what's new with communities today. I'm going to be focusing on Customer Portal and Mobile Publisher today. Quick tidbit about myself. I've been at Salesforce for 2 years. I complete 2 years in next month. And yeah, super excited to be here. I'll let Paul introduce himself.
Thanks, Sudhir. Yeah. Hello, everyone. My name is Paul Chong. I, too, am a product manager on Community Cloud. And I have the pleasure today of demoing some of the new features relating to the services community. And similar to Sudhir, I've been at Community Cloud for about a couple of years as well.
Same thing, huh? We've been here for the longest time.
Hey, you know, old timers.
Yeah.
Hi guys, my name is Vibhor. I'm the product manager as well at Community Cloud. And I'm the youngest one. I have 1 year experience in Salesforce, but a broad experience in the enterprise space. I'll be covering partner relationship management today. Back to Elena.
Wonderful, thanks. And you've been working hard during that time to bring some awesome new functionality. So let's go ahead and get started with Customer Portal.
Yeah, thanks so much. So before I get into the nitty-gritty and the details of the features, I'd like to give you a Community Cloud refresher. Now, we at Community Cloud think of us as an experience layer, over Salesforce. Think of yourself as think of Community Cloud as a window into Salesforce. Now, if you've been attending Release Readiness Live for some time, you would know that we typically, we divide them into two main types, one being customer community, the other being partner community. Customer communities, if you think of Community Cloud as a window into Salesforce, then think of customer community as your window into Service Cloud. Again, with Community Cloud, right, we've got multiple use cases within it. I like to think of them as tiers. The first one is help centers. So think of help centers as the knowledge-based articles that your customer agents write, and you exposing them to your customers. On the next level, we've got portals, which I'll be covering today and demoing for you. But portals are taking the knowledge-based articles and adding your business processes, your business data to it. That's what gives you custom portal. A quick example of that is if you've ever used an insurance company and filed a claim, you've really used a portal and added some business data by filing that claim. Now, the next tier is a service community, which Paul here will be presenting for us. He's going to be going through the demo. But from a service community perspective, think of the knowledge base articles, and then add the business data and processes, and then add the customer-to-customer interaction that to this. So if you have a forum, for example, where not only your customer agents can answer questions, but also your customers can help other customers, that's forums. That's service community. The second piece, which I just spoke about, was partner community. Partner communities is your window into Sales Cloud. A quick example over here, if I had to give you, is think of a company like Cisco. Cisco sells its products like network switches or routers using their reseller network, not typically directly to the customer, but they're using a reseller and a partner network. So companies like CTW, who are distributors, need access to things like opportunities, leads, and other sales collateral. So they get this access through partner community. So that's a quick example of partner community, and we'll have Vibhor, he'll talk through a lot more of partner community and do a far better job than me explaining partner community to you. So as we go along, I'd like to talk about the innovation that we're doing here at Salesforce. We think of it mainly at three main buckets. We think of intelligence as innovation, as our primary innovation, personalization, and mobile. Now, the way we think of innovation is really at the heart of everything we do here at Community Cloud. Of course, we want to enhance our features that we've built. We want to improve them, but we also want to make your life easier, right, by innovating. So today we'll be giving you a demo of Einstein Next Best Action and show you what we're doing in the intelligence space. We'll talk through CMS for Community Cloud to show you how you can create personalized and customized communities using CMS for Community Cloud. And we'll be talking about Mobile Publisher to talk more about our mobile space. Now, when we talk, moving to the next slide, if you've been attending Release Readiness Lives for a while, for a few times, you would know that we typically think of Community Cloud in different themes. All the use cases I spoke about, be it partner community, be it portals, be it self-service, any use case I spoke about, is all enabled using our digital experience platform. So the digital experience platform is the bottom layer that's enabling all these use cases. So when I speak about mobile publishers and CMS for Community Cloud and all of those, it all is empowered through the digital experience platform. Now, I won't go too much detail into all of these themes. You see the themes. They're of course the platform based. They're also based on the use cases we talk about, portal, community, and PRM. So we'll go into the details of the features as we demo it. So let's move on to the next slide where we're speaking about digital experience platform. Now, like I said, digital experience platform is the bottom layer that enables all these use cases. Today, I will be showing you Mobile Publisher in the context of a customer portal. We'll show you DXP features in context of different use cases. So I'll go through Mobile Publisher. Vibhor will go through CMS for Community Cloud and help understand all these features. How about we start talking about Customer Portal next? On Customer Portal, I'll show you, of course, Mobile Publisher, like I said, but I'll also talk about the innovation we're doing with Einstein Next Best Action and some of the work that we're doing on the contact request button and the flow work and the work that we're doing on flow. So how about Paul? I think we've seen a lot of slides, right? A lot of slides. Why don't we jump in and now start talking about do a quick demo? Now, I know mobile. When I talk to our customers and partners, a top request we've had is mobile. Like, allow me the ability to create a mobile app for my community. So what you see in front of you is a mobile app that has been created by using the Mobile Publisher for Community Cloud that is going live and GA in North America and Europe in spring 19. One of the features that I'm really excited about. And I might be a little biased over there because I'm the product manager of that feature, but it is truly a big game changer for our customers. Now, what you're seeing is a quick context over here is Capricorn. Capricorn is been selling coffee-based products for quite some time, but they've recently added a new manufacturing unit to their business. So they're selling industrial coffee machines to their customers. Lauren, who's logged into this app, is one such customer. She's bought a bunch of coffee machines from Capricorn. And as you saw when we were scrolling down, that one of her coffee machines, while she's in this app, right, is actually offline. It's an IoT-based coffee machine. So as you scroll down, you see a red icon there. So that's telling her that her coffee machine's offline. She, of course, wants to file a few maintenance requests and get to the bottom of this. And we'll go into how she can do that and what features that we're releasing in Spring 19 that will allow her to do that. But before that, I'm sure all of you have this question of, hey, you just showed me a mobile app, right? How do I go create this mobile app? So very happy to announce the new mobile publisher that's coming in Spring 19. We did pilot last release, and we are going GA to North America and Europe. Now, if you aren't familiar with the term mobile publisher, that's because it's a rebranded name from My Salesforce. It used to be called My Salesforce. As you can see, when you click on the mobile publisher experience, you see that you can now create a Lightning Community mobile app. So click on Lightning Community mobile app, you get the option of having an iOS app and an Android app. You could create both platforms. So in our case, in our demo, like I showed you on an iOS platform, we've already created an app for you. So we'll go into an iOS experience. Now, what's interesting to see over here is creating an app is as simple as filling out a form. I kid you not, this is true. Right? You give an app name on this experience. You put in the app icon you want. Hey, put in the loading screen that you want, right? Customize it and brand it the way that you want it. You can also choose things like, hey, what kind of descriptions that I want on the App Store? You can put in all that information on this form. And of course, you can choose which community you want to create an app out of in your org. You could have multiple communities, so you choose which community you want to create. Once you've done all of that, remember, Lightning communities are mobile responsive. So we want to leverage that aspect as well. So we go and create a hybrid mobile app which can be downloaded from the App Store and the Google Play Store. We take these assets, we take the mobile web version of your community, we package it into an app, and send it back to you.
So Sudhir, you're saying that I don't need to create a separate community just for mobile?
That's a great point, Vibhor. Yeah, when you have an existing community, all you need to do is come to this experience and choose which community you want to create an app for. You're doing nothing else. There is zero mobile development required. So we expect admins like Eric Ware, who's logged into this community, to actually go create this app before.
That's super.
Yeah. Now, we get so what you saw when we demoed the app for you was when we clicked on the app icon and we launched the content of the app. It was the mobile web version of the community. But we get a customer saying, hey, if I just wanted to show a mobile web version of the community, I would just show it on the mobile browser. Why do I need an app for that? One, of course, you want your customers to be able to download it from different platforms like iOS and Google. But also, we provide native app features that are built right into the product. Now, things like persistent authentication. When we showed you the app, when Lauren's logged in, let's just she puts the app in the background or kills the app and comes back at a later time, she would stay logged in. So we built this functionality into the product. We built push notifications. So if someone mentions you in Chatter, you get a push notification. Then, of course, there are other push notification types that we also support. We also built in things like file access. So if Lauren wanted to use her native file system of her phone and change, let's say, her profile picture, she could do that. So we're thinking of these core features, these native features, and building them into the product. So I hope this makes sense from how we are thinking of mobile strategy. At the end of this demo, I'll also walk you through another mobile piece. But before that, I want to show you some of our customer portal features. Now I'm going to go back into the context of Lauren, right? Excuse me. Lauren is now, she was accessing it from her phone app, but now she's gone back to her desktop experience. Remember, everything you're seeing here, you of course see it on your mobile app as well. But she now wants to create a maintenance request, right? She has a maintenance trouble. She wants to file a request and talk to someone about it. Now, over the past few releases, we've built a lot of case deflection features. But at times, people just want to talk to someone. So in Spring 19, we are launching the new contact request form. As you can see, Lauren can fill out the information on this form. Click on the contact request button, fill out this information. Once this information is filled out and we click on the button and we finalize this, there's a support request that would go to a customer agent using Service Cloud's omnichannel. They get that information, they get the phone number, and they can call back. So net, the benefit of this is that Lauren does not have to stay online on a phone for an hour and a half waiting for a customer agent to be available, right? So she can file a request and someone will reach out to her. Pretty cool, isn't it?
Very nice. It's awesome.
Right. Now, this is a standard maintenance request. She spoke about it, but now she wants to get into the reason of why her coffee grinder that she bought was actually offline. So she's going to go and try to now actually file a request. So she's going to go into her case detail page and try to file a new case because she wants a technician to come visit her and actually fix this problem. But as you see, there's no new case button available. So this is this is based on the feedback we've gotten from our customers that they want their customers to actually go through the contact support form and fill out the form instead of filing a new case. So now come Spring 19, you can actually filter out things like the buttons and the action bar, and hide them from your end users. Keep an eye out in Community Builder. You'll be able to you'll see checkboxes in Community Builder where you'll be able to hide such features. So pretty cool feature there too. Now, since Capricorn wants Lauren to go file a request through the contact support form because that enables Capricorn to use case deflection features and hopefully not let Lauren file a request. But in this case, she's going to go through. She'll click on submit, and once she's done that, notice what happened on the right-hand side of their screen. Lauren has just seen an offer provided to her for free platinum support for a year. Capricorn has used Einstein's Next Best Action to provide her this offer. What you're seeing right now is Lauren actually clicking on that Einstein Next Best Action recommendation and now going through the flow of actually accepting that. Einstein Next Best Action has allowed Capricorn to create a strategy and recommendations for their customers based on a bunch of criteria. In this case, they want to ensure like an important customer like Lauren stays with them and does not leave them because she's filed a lot of high priority cases. So what they've done is for every customer that's a high spend customer and every customer that's filed a lot of high priority cases, they want to offer this platinum support to them. So the next question is, how do we actually go create such an experience, right? So in Spring 19, we're launching this. We're going GA with Strategy Builder. In Strategy Builder, you can actually go create this experience. What you see in front of your screen right now is that strategy that was created using Strategy Builder. In the first node, you see how the admin, Eric Ware, has actually gone in and defined a criteria for every customer that's spending over $1 million. They should be a part of this flow. And the next node, we ensure that there are the customers that are filing a lot of high priority cases. In this case, 17. You could have a different number if you'd like. All of these customers who fall into this bucket should be provided that offer. So that strategy builder allows you to give smart recommendations to your customers. Pretty cool in terms of innovation, right?
Absolutely, yeah. This is, I think, very, very beneficial for use cases where you want to retain your customers and provide some kind of a option to keep them engaged, I guess.
Sweet. But we're not done yet. We now want to talk about flow. Now, when I talk about flow, remember when we showed you the strategy, when we showed you the Einstein Next Best Action and how Lauren went to the flow, that was created using flow, right? Now, in flow, we are launching a new flow builder. We're going GA with a new flow builder in Spring 19. What you see in front of you is that new experience. Remember that as we go into this experience, you will not see that we are asked to enable Flash. That's great news. You no longer need Flash enabled to use the flow builder. I also want you to take a look at the toolbox on the top left of the screen. We've rejigged the toolbox a bit, and now you have the elements that you want to show up in a much cleaner form, and they're much easier to find when you're looking for the exact element that you want. Pretty sweet. This does replace the Cloud Flow Designer that we had in the past. Come Spring 19, you will have the new Flow Builder show up by default on your screen, on your org. But if you still want to go back to your Cloud Flow Designer, you'll be able to do that.
Flash, I think, by far is the good piece. I think a lot of customers were asking for it.
Absolutely, it's a big ask from our customers.
Piece.
Yeah. Sweet. Another feedback from our customers was Flash, like stopping to enable Flash, like Vibhor pointed out. Now, just before I hand it over to Paul to take over service community, I want to go back to mobile, right? I'd like to show you what other changes we are making from mobile and what our strategy around mobile is. In the past, at the start of the demo, I showed you how you go create a mobile app for your community. Now I want to show you how do you go create a mobile-specific experience for your community. As you can see, we'll go into the community. You can go into a community builder for folks who are relatively new to communities. Builder is the one place where you can go create and design and build your communities. We offer out-of-the-box pages, out-of-the-box components. If you haven't checked it out, definitely check it out. It offers a lot of functionality. Now, I will go into the mobile view. What you see in front of you is a new feature, an introduction to a new feature where you can now start creating mobile-specific experiences on communities. That means that you can hide components on your mobile view. The reason we've taken that approach is because at times, you could have the mobile web version rendering on your mobile app or your mobile web version, but not everything that makes sense from a desktop makes sense on a mobile app as well, or a mobile web version as well. So we've created this new feature, like we can see, we have an out-of-the-box component called breadcrumbs. Breadcrumbs make a lot of sense on desktop. They don't make sense, on a mobile app. You don't have that much real estate. So what we've done is we've selected that component and actually chosen to hide it on mobile app. Once you publish the community, the breadcrumbs component will stay on the desktop experience, but it won't show up on the mobile experience, hence enabling you to create mobile-specific experiences as well.
Oh, so tailored for the form factor that you're
exactly.
using. That's
exactly. And Vibhor, I'd like to point out that this applies not only to your mobile web version of the community, but it also applies to the mobile app we showed you today.
Awesome.
Right? So it applies to both. So just quickly before I wrap up, if you have other things like, you've got a long scroll on a mobile app, on a mobile version, you can use this feature to not have like infinite scrolls on your mobile app. So if you've got a long scroll on desktop, you don't need to have it on your mobile app. Well, that pretty much covers it for me on the portal side of things. I'd like to hand it over to Paul. Yeah.
Before we do that,
sorry, we need to have questions. I'm sorry.
Let's see what questions we have, because I know that we have talked about the flow build, the new flow builder, and also the next best action with flows in our earlier broadcast. So some of the folks who joined us then might have more questions, and we saw some really great use cases for sales and for the next best action, as well as, let's say, a user onboarding. That was a great use case that we talked about as well. And it's really great to see that functionality can extend. It's not just internal; it can extend right out to the communities for your customers to use the same guidance there. So, and also the contact request. I know you covered that really briefly, but if you want to learn more about that, watch the Service Cloud webcast that we did yesterday, because that went in a little more detail on how to set up the contact request and how that works. So, Sam, what questions have we got out there so far?
Well, thank you, Elna. And I love this question because I think many people have it. So thank you, Jason, for asking this question. He wants to know, will the mobile community app feature be available to all Community Cloud customers, or are there some licensing or fee types of things that they should think about?
Yeah, thanks for asking that question. There is an added cost and a separate license to have the mobile app feature, so you will need a different license, but once you get that license, it will be available in your org to use.
Alrighty, and so then you would connect.
And it is basically available to all communities,
so
including partner community.
Absolutely, yeah. So other than license, it is available to all communities. You could have partner communities, you could have custom community. As long as it's a Lightning community, you could use the mobile app.
Correct.
Yeah.
Alrighty, so reach out to your account executive for your interest. And Jordan is asking, well, Jordan says, thank goodness for the ability to remove the new case button for list views and communities. Big shout out. But Jordan has the question, would this change also apply for the mobile device?
So any changes that you're making on your desktop experience will directly apply to your mobile device as well. So remember that the mobile app is a hybrid app, right? So any changes you're applying to your desktop will automatically reflect on your mobile app as well.
Great. Okay, and I like this question too. I saw how to create an app, but how does the app get submitted to be published in the App Store?
Awesome. So happy that these questions are being asked. So publishing is actually taken care of by us. We do, in the form we showed you today, there is an option to choose of how you would like to publish it. You could choose to publish it, publicly and ensure that hey, all of your customers have access to it. You could have a private publish as well. You could choose to say, hey, I only want like 1,000 of my customers to install this app, so I'd like to share it directly with them. So there are different publishing options we provide you. But once you choose them, we go in the background and we create and publish the app for you.
Great.
And
awesome.
Jonathan is asking he's saying mobile publisher works with any Lightning community template. So he wants to make sure that it'll be functional in any Lightning community template.
Yeah, any Lightning community template will work. If you are using things like out of the box components, out of the box templates, all good. If you're using custom components, then of course remember this is a hybrid app. You want to ensure that they are mobile responsive. They'll still work, but you want to ensure that they look good on a mobile device, so that when they render on a mobile app, then they look good. That's the only thing.
Alrighty, and Elna, time for a few more?
I think let's hold those for maybe the end, see if we have time, because I think Paul is ready to show what he has. So let's go into that section and keep the questions coming. If we don't get to it on the air, we will get to you within the next few days.
Thank you, Elna. Thank you, Sam. And thank you for those questions. You can see that mobile is a really hot topic right now.
Yeah.
That's where but before you think mobile's the best thing, let's talk about services communities. We've got some exciting things coming up here. And so I have the pleasure of demoing what's new in service communities in spring 19. Rolling up the sleeves. It's going to get warm in here. Right, so for many of you online right now, and there are thousands of you dialing in, have services communities. But for those of you who are less familiar with what a service community is, it's really a place for your customers, your community members, to come and ask questions, where they can come and have those questions answered, perhaps collaborate with each other, through sharing best practices, or even, if they need to have a question escalated to an agent, that's where they can do it. So what features typically characterize a services community? Well, it includes like peer-to-peer forums. It includes a contact support form, and it includes many, many knowledge articles. New in Spring 19, we have a whole range of exciting features. They're ranging from things like design enhancements. So you've requested a lot of different design enhancements. We've heard those, and we've delivered many of those in Spring 19. We'll show those to you in a minute. When it comes to deflection tracking, we have implemented a new question suggestion functionality, which I think you guys will really like. We also have post translations. So any of those communities out there that have a global audience, and I know there are a lot of you out there right now listening with global communities, stay tuned, because post translations is right up your alley.
That sounds pretty interesting, Paul.
Yeah, it's actually my favorite.
Yeah.
We'll get to it in a minute. And then the final thing we're going to touch on today is mission badges, to really juice up that engagement and adoption of your communities by your community members. Righto, guys. Do you think we should get into the demo?
Let's do it.
All right, let's do this.
Let's do it.
So for those of you who have seen a few of these demos before, you'll know that a Community Cloud demo is incomplete without Capricorn Coffee and without Eric Ware. Eric Ware is the community manager extraordinaire, probably arguably the best community manager in this fictional community called Capricorn Coffee.
The best fictional admin you made. Yeah.
He's number one, at least in my books. And so what we're seeing right here is we're in the builder space. So Sudhir showed you before the builder for the community portal. And now what we're looking at is the services community for Capricorn Coffee. And if we can find different pages within this builder, we'll move over to the forums page where we can see a list of forums that are included in the Capricorn community. And so to highlight some of the design enhancements that we've made, I'm going to click in on the featured topics component. And that then, you see here, shows the panel for the configuration. What's new in Spring 19 is this section down here called Style. So when I click on that, that expands and displays a whole range of design customizations. So those of you who have tuned in to previous community demos will be familiar with Eric's eye for design. He is incredibly focused on design, and in fact, in some of the previous versions of our demo, he has written custom CSS for the point of making the look and feel of his community just right. And so what we've done in Spring 19 is we've taken a lot of those customizations and built them right into the component. So for example, with this featured topics component, you can tweak the color overlay, change the color as well as the opacity. You can do the same for the hover cover. If you don't like the sharp edges on those tiles, you can round those out by simply dragging on that slider.
That's very nice.
That is pretty
incredible.
Cool. Yeah.
When it comes to the text color and hover cover, you can configure those. Same with the background color of those texts. And something that I think is quite interesting here is you can switch around the positioning of the text. So I don't think it looks terribly good in the bottom right there or bottom left. So I'm going to move that to the center, which I think looks a lot better. And I'm going to preview that. And as you see, with a couple of clicks, you can make your community look and feel exactly the way you want it to.
Crisp.
The possibilities are really endless. Before I move on to the next feature, I want to call out one more design enhancement, which I think is going to get a lot of you people who are tuned in today very excited, because you've told us, told me personally many times, how much you want to customize the buttons in your community. And so this is often the case where you want to have your buttons match the style, the look and feel of the buttons in the rest of your web properties. And so if we click in on this Ask a Question button, we see there is a new section here, Style, so we expand that. And much the same as with the previous component, you can see the changes in color as well as like hover text color. But a couple of things here that I think you're going to be pretty excited by. The first, I'm going to move this out of the way so you can see the effect on this button. The first is that you can now update the width of that button. So you don't. So no longer does it need to expand the entire column.
Everyone here is nodding.
Everyone's nodding. Everyone's nodding.
That's cool.
Right, it gets better. If you're tired of those sharp corners on your buttons, look at this. Just look at this.
No.
You can round those out
without
writing a line of custom CSS. And so this is the beauty of having these customizations right in your component, that you can just, with a couple of clicks, make it look and feel exactly the way you need it to.
That's great.
Very cool.
That's awesome.
Nice.
That's awesome.
All right, all right. So those are some of just a sample of some of the design enhancements that were released with Spring 19. Let's now shift over to deflection tracking. So deflection tracking is, as many of you might know, especially if you have a services community, one of the key reasons for having a services community, so that when community members have questions, instead of having to say, reach out to a service agent, they can get those questions addressed right in their service community, resulting in a deflection. That's what we're calling a deflection. So in this case, Eric Ware, he's interested in understanding the effectiveness of deflections for guest users. And so what he's going to do now is basically, so I'm now visiting the Capricorn Cafe community as a guest user. I may have landed here through, say, a link I found in Google. And so I have a question in relation to, let's say, what is the best grinder? I want to know what the best grinder is. So I'm going to click in on this. And I see that there's a huge amount of discussion and information about what the best grinder is for Capricorn coffee. And I'm pretty happy about that. And so what I can do now is give feedback to the effectiveness of this content through this component right here. So this component that you're seeing in the top right is new in Spring 19, and it allows your users to provide feedback upon the effectiveness of the content in the community. So I'm going to click yes, say that's excellent. And what happens on the back end when I just clicked yes is that that's firing a log into your deflection tracking dashboard. Okay, and so now your community manager, Eric Ware, can look at that dashboard and see the deflections climbing up and to the right.
So it's not just one-way communication, you're getting the feedback.
You're getting the feedback, and that is the key. That is the key.
And on this component, Paul, I see that the user is not logged in, right? So how, is a user logged in being targeted here? What's happening here?
I'm glad you asked that, Sudhir.
Cool.
So this particular component is taking advantage of a feature that is super powerful called audience targeting. And so I don't want to steal Vibhor's thunder because he's going to be talking about it in his demo. But if you're interested in understanding the capabilities of audience targeting and some of the new enhancements that we've made in the last release, then please stay tuned. Vibhor's got some goodies coming up shortly.
Sure.
So that was the first part of the deflection tracking that I wanted to show you. But there's actually a second feature called question suggestion, which I think you're going to really like. So let's switch over to Lauren Boyle. A Capricorn Cafe demo without Lauren Boyle would not be much of a demo because she is central to she's a central character to our story. And so those of you who know Lauren, she has purchased every single product that Capricorn Coffee has ever made, including recently purchasing a Capricorn grinder. So now she is in this community looking for questions around like what kind of warranty does she have on her grinder? So she's looking around, she can't find it. So what she's going to do, as you'd imagine, she's going to ask a question. She wants to see if anyone else knows about warranties. So she's going to say, coffee accessories, what is my grinder warranty? But before she's even finished writing that, she sees that there's these suggested questions beneath her input box. And there's one question that's asked previously called, what is the warranty of the Capricorn grinder? Okay, so she's going to click in on that because it looks promising. And upon doing so, she realizes that someone in the community has already asked that question before, and so she no longer needs to ask it. So this is great for a couple of reasons. One is that Lauren can get an answer straight away instead of having to wait for a response. But two, it means that there's fewer duplicate questions appearing in your community. But it also gets better. Not only do we have that suggested questions functionality, but if you look at the bottom of this modal, you can see that there's a prompt asking Lauren, did we help answer your question? Well, Lauren's pretty pumped about this. She didn't have to write a question. So she's like, absolutely, yeah. She clicks yes. There's also another prompt, can we close your question? Well, yeah, she doesn't need to answer it anymore. So with a couple of clicks, she has now provided feedback, what that is being tracked in the deflection dashboard. So now Eric knows how effective that content is in helping inform his community members.
That's very important. I think you can even curate the right set of questions based on the feedback that you're getting.
That's exactly it. You know, feedback that we hear is that sometimes you need to understand where are the gaps in your content, what type of content in your community is really, really helpful. And so hopefully with this feature, you can now get a better idea of what is working and what isn't in your community.
Yeah, totally.
So before we move on to the next feature, I want to just show you how we can set this up or how easy it is to set this up. So we're going to go back to Eric Ware. And Eric's back in we're back in Builder, back logged in as Eric Ware. And we are actually talking about the same feature that we talked about before, the ask button. But instead of talking about the style, we're going to collapse that. We're going to talk about the next two sections down here. These are both new in Spring 19. The first is suggested questions. So when we click in on this, you can see that there is the option for you to include suggested questions to appear in your question dialog. Okay, so you can click that. But not only that, but you can also include whether they're going to be discussions, whether they're going to be articles, or whether you want to include both in your suggestions. And you can also configure how many suggestions you want to show. But when it comes to deflection tracking, this is where this next section becomes relevant. Suggestion metrics. So if you remember just a moment ago, Lauren saw at the bottom of that suggestion modal, there was a question asking, did we help answer your question? Well, you can configure this as well. If you want to have that prompt, and if so, what you want that text to read. And you can have that for a satisfaction prompt as well as a follow-up question. And both of these will then be fired off to your deflection tracking dashboard.
Nice.
Nice?
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
Cool. All right, so it's as easy as that to set it up, okay? So that's deflection tracking. A lot of exciting stuff coming out in Spring 19. You guys ready for some post-translation?
Yes.
All right, so guys, this is my favorite. This is my favorite topic. Okay, so, and the reason why is because we really appreciate you guys dialing in today. We know that there are thousands of you around the world, and you speak many different languages. You're coming a truly global community. And we understand that many of you have communities which are also global in nature. you have community members that speak many different languages. And they also make posts, they post discussions in many different languages. And so it's important to have some ability to translate those posts for other community members to be able to collaborate and come together. And so what's new in Spring 19? Let me show you. So we are logged in as Lauren Boyle. So Lauren Boyle is back in her community. She follows the community very frequently because she just loves the content. And she wants to know if there's any new posts in the community. And she goes into the forum and she sees that there actually is, in fact, a new post. Posted in, it looks like Spanish. Well, Lauren is a expert in coffee, not so much in Spanish. So she clicks in on this and she wants to know what this post is all about. So instead of having to copy and paste that into some translation software and working out what that means, what she can do is with a simple click, wait for it, watch this, boom. She can translate that in real time with a simple click of a button.
Now I see why this is your favorite feature, Paul.
It's awesome, it's powerful, and it's very global in nature. And so she can not only get a sense of what the translation is in her native language setting is, but she can also choose from one of over 50 different languages from, say, Thai, Tamil, you name it. These are all the different languages that she can translate the posts in with a simple click of a button. And
that's powerful.
Yeah, this is super powerful. And what I like about it also, in addition to the fact that it's super global and easy to use, is how easy it is to set it up. Okay, so let's just show you how to do that. So now we're back in Builder. We are Eric Ware right now. And the steps that Eric needs to take to set up that translation, let me show you. You can do it in a few minutes. So he's back in Builder. He clicks on Settings, and then he scrolls down to the Languages tab. And so you'll see that there's something new here, which is Configure Translations and Feed. Okay, so this section is new. And so what he needs to do, what Eric needs to do to get those translations popping in his community is go to his Google Cloud account, take the translation API key, and then just simply copy and paste it here. And once, click that validation button, and presto, it's going to be appearing in your community. Just like that.
Cool. That's pretty cool.
Right.
All using clicks, not code, huh?
Not a line of code. We're trying to keep things simple for you guys.
Awesome.
All right, so that is post translations. And before I hand it over for questions, I do have one more feature that I want to show you guys. And in my opinion, it's the funnest feature today that you'll see today.
Yeah.
And the reason why is because it's all about gamification.
Oh wow. Yeah, that's a popular one.
Yeah. So for those of you who have seen Release Readiness Live, a few times, you'll know that gamification is a relatively new feature that we've introduced in communities. And in the last few releases, it's come a long way. And so the way you get to it is through community workspaces. This is the place, the home of the community manager. And you can see all of the different links to ways to moderate your community, manage your content. And in this case, we're going to go to gamification. So when you click on that, you can see all of these different badges that exist within your community. And badges, the reason for badges, as many of you will know, is that you create these so that your community members can earn them and give them to other community members to help really drive that adoption and engagement. And so what's new in Spring 19 is the creation of a mission badge. And so some of you might be wondering, what the heck is a mission badge? Well, a mission badge is a badge that you can earn, or that will be automatically awarded to a community member upon the successful completion of a mission. And so now you might be wondering, well, what the heck is a mission? Well, a mission is any set of one of many types of actions that can be taken in your community, and upon the completion of that action, you will then earn a badge. So let me show you something. Let me show you how this works. So we have created a new badge here. It's called the Coffee Answer Expert badge. And we have noted here in this new column, mission badge, we have marked that as, yes, it is a mission badge. Okay, and I'll tell you why that's important in a minute. We are then going to scroll over to click on missions over here. And we're going to create a new mission. So as I said before, a mission can include all sorts of different actions within your community. So if you look at some of the actions, it could be writing a post, writing a comment, receiving comments, or something like that. The mission that I want to create today is called Best Answerer. And so this is going to be awarded whenever a community member gets, say, 3 answers marked as best. Okay, and so the way that we configure this is by scrolling down, finding the option of your answer is marked as best, and then we will set that, say, the threshold to 3. And this mission badge that you saw just a moment ago, this is the badge that is going to be awarded automatically upon the successful completion of 3 answers, marked as best. And so we're going to save that, and that is the creation of a new mission. So Eric is now really interested in knowing whether this mission badge is going to work. So he's going to go into the community and try and trigger this for one community member. Because Eric Ware is the community manager extraordinaire, he knows everything that's going on in his community, including the fact that Lauren Boyle has already had 2 answers marked as best. So Lauren only needs 1 more answer marked as best to trigger that mission and hence get that badge. So earlier in the day, Eric recalls a post that Lauren made in relation to a recipe. There was a question asking about what's the best coffee recipe ever? Ever. And if you scroll down, we see that Lauren has responded to this, suggesting that there is a recipe. And so Eric is going to mark that as best. By clicking there, he said, Lauren, that is the best. And so now that would mean that Lauren has 3 best answers. Yeah. So we're going to scroll over to Lauren's perspective and see what happens. So when we refresh this page, so we are logged in now as Lauren Boyle. We see that there is a notification. See the red icon that is packed on the notification? We're clicking on that, and just like that, you see that she has received a new badge.
Cool.
And so Lauren's going to click in, look at her badges. She can boast about all the badges that she's collected over the last 100 times we've done this demo.
That's nice.
And she can see that there has been an automatic badge that has been awarded to her just a few seconds ago. So she's happy that she's received a badge. She's going to be contributing a lot more to the community because of that. Eric's happy because his mission badges are working.
That's great.
That's great?
That's awesome.
Cool. Well, let's leave it on a high note. I think that was like pretty powerful stuff. But at this point, shall we open it up to questions?
Boy, do I wish I had those automatic badges right now. I'm thinking about the treasure hunt, guys, those of you who posted, and how many times I've manually given out that badge. So I'm jealous, but that's okay. I'll be fine. So Sam, what questions do we have?
Well, there's a lot of interest in the translation capabilities. So where do they go to get the Google Translation or the Google Cloud Translation key, especially when they're in Community Builder?
That is a great question. And so something that is necessary to mention is the fact that in order to get this key, you need to have a Google Cloud account. Okay, and so you get your Google Cloud account, and then you'll need to get the translation API key. We have a link from within the builder, so you can just click on that, and then it'll direct you to the Google Translate page, where they'll have all the instructions for how you get that API key.
Great. Andre is asking about the gamification. Could the missions be a sales quota or a visit achievement? Can you provide some use cases as to where you would use missions?
Sure. So there's many different missions that are possible. Let me just show you from the list. I mentioned before that there are some like writing a post, write a comment. Most of these are very community-centric. There are some others that, for example, if you want to motivate, say, the uploading of a profile picture. You don't have many, you don't have many of your members having profile pics, and you know that's important for engagement. You can do that also. You can just scroll down and say, upload a profile picture, and you can incentivize that action within your community with this badge. Right now, there are all of the options that you see in front of you right now. These are currently the lists of actions that are available. But in future releases, we will consider whether, based on your feedback, what we should expand that to include.
Correct.
Yeah.
Great, and I love this question from Jordan. Those question suggestions are really cool. Can this apply to cases and knowledge articles as well?
Right, great question, Jordan. Thank you for paying attention. And so, certainly for knowledge articles, we can go in there and you can configure that however you want when it comes to the combination of knowledge articles, discussions. At the moment, cases are not included, but that is something that we'll take that feedback on and we'll think about. I'll pass that on to the PM who's responsible for this feature. Thank you, Jordan.
And we have some eagle eyes out there. So in the demo, we see the community does not show the word topics anymore. It shows the forums instead. Starting in spring 19, do we have the ability to rename topics to something per our business requirements? So that, Divya, I'm hoping I say your name right. That was eagle eyes. Great question.
Divya, you have attention for detail, I can tell. That was a great question. I actually don't personally know that one off the top of my head. Do you guys happen to know?
I don't either, but we can definitely get back.
Yeah, why don't we keep an eye out on the success community and we'll make sure to post that to Divya. Thank you for that question.
Compliments for the attention to detail. That's great. Elna, do we have time for some more? Great, okay, because I have a few more to ask. In the release notes, it says that that you can now configure the default sort for feeds in communities. Is that really going to happen? When can I start doing that?
Yeah, that's a good question. So that's something that we were hoping to squeeze into this demo, but given all of the features that we've released in the last spring 19, we weren't able to get it in. But that is in fact true. That is absolutely. So previously you were kind of stuck with the default sort option. Now you can configure that, and also not only that, but if your community members change that, then that will be sticky for them. So no longer will they have to always have the same default sort option when it comes to feeds.
And then I have one more. Are all deflections treated equally? What if a discussion is helpful but doesn't fully address a member's question?
Sure, that's also a great question. So when it comes to deflection tracking, there is some configuration that's possible there. So you can have really three types, whether it's a non-deflection action, whether it's a full deflection, or whether it's a partial deflection. And so those three different types will be available. You can see those and distinguish those in your deflection dashboard. And so that's available as a package in the App Exchange.
All right, Elena, over to you.
All right, I think we're ready for Vibor now for what you have, and we will circle back. We may have some time at the end, so Sam, if you could queue up any questions we didn't get to, we'll try to get to a few before we wrap. Thanks.
Thanks, Elena. Thanks, Paul. That was a wonderful demo. Loved it. So, folks, I'm going to talk about the partner relationship management and some features that we are bringing in spring. Before I start, let me explain what is partner relationship management. So, if you have a partner network and you want to give a engaging experience to them and expose your business processes from the Sales Cloud, let's say, this is one of the platforms that you can use. So essentially, your partners, your resellers, distributors can come in and engage with you via this platform and help you grow your business. May it be in the sales side, marketing side, or the service side, doesn't matter. So that's what, in a nutshell, is partner relationship management. So it's exposing your sales applications and sales processes to your external users. Now in Spring, we have brought in a ton of capabilities within this PRM application, mainly towards the multi-channel. So account relationship is one of that capability. Marketing funds is more towards the marketing side of the things. I will touch on that. And some of the community-related features. By the way, I just wanted to highlight that we've been monitoring ideas and customer forums to a very great detail. That's one of our number one agenda. And these items that you have seen today are basically a fruition of those. We have identified some of the pieces and we have delivered in these releases, and roadmap is also shaped based on that. All right. So let's just dig into this account relationship. I want to state the problem first. Anytime if you are engaging with your partners, most likely you will be working with tier 2 or tier 3 kind of a network. What I mean by that is you may have distributors and resellers that you are selling through. The problem that, the difficulty that comes into this picture is how do you keep these partners engaged? At the same time, how can you share the data seamlessly in real time? So this is not typical to PRM, by the way. If you take any industry, either it's a dealership network or a franchisee network or even the commerce, mainly you will see that there are multiple parties involved. And when there are multiple parties involved, there is a process around it, and you need to share that information at the right time to the right people. So this has been a quite a big challenge, and a lot of our customers wanted us to look into this problem and see if we can help them out. In our study, what we found out is there are two kind of networks that you can create. One is like a point-to-point, and another one is a hierarchical, obviously. Point-to-point is a use case, classic use cases where you have distributors and resellers network in different geographies, different industries. You want to have a point-to-point connection between them, identifying that this is the distributor for this reseller, or this is the distributor for that region. Once you have defined that relationship, how you can seamlessly now share the information like leads, opportunities, cases, and things like that. So that's one use case where point-to-point really is the key factor. The other one is the hierarchical. Obviously, if you have a huge partner network, there could be a hierarchy saying, you have a broker network system, brokers have agents beneath it. This is, I'm talking about the insurance model. Very typical in channel industries. So these are the two factors. We are taking a cut on the point-to-point. Account relationship is actually focused on that particular piece. Hierarchical is something that we will be, that's on our roadmap. We are in the beginning of the design phases. If you have an interest in that, please reach out to us. We'll love to get the use cases. Having said that, let me just explain what is the account relationship. So account relationship feature is essentially to build a account-to-account relationship. May it be between a distributor reseller, may it be between a agent and a broker. If you have a shipper, and the moment you place an order or your distributor places an order, how do you notify your shipper? That kind of relationship you can establish. Once you have established that relationship, then you can configure to share the specific information that you want to share it with them. So for example, in the distributor reseller case, you want to share the opportunities or leads. In the cases of your service partners, you want to share cases. In case of commerce, you want to share the shipment information. So these are some of the classic examples.
Vivek, just to clarify that, so you're saying that we all know that distribution channels in the real world can get very complex, very messy with resellers, distributors, franchisees. And you're saying that now with account relationships, you can enable sharing rules without having to write a line of code?
Absolutely. So in the past, what happened was a lot of our customers relied on the Apex code and things like that to share this information. We have taken that pain out now. With this release, this is the GA of this product. We have been doing pilot. So some of the customers like you were engaged with us. We got the feedback and we've been improving it. But exactly, that's what it is with point and click. You can set up this relationship and you can set up the trigger as to what objects and what data should be shared between them.
Wow.
And I'll show you in a bit. So these are some of the use cases. I'll not go through the detail of it, but there are tons and tons of numerous use cases that you can fulfill by this capability. We are super excited about it. In the pilot, what we did was we exposed 3 objects: lead, opportunity, and custom objects. These were the prime objects that a lot of you guys told us. That was the pilot. But in the GA, we are broadening this scope. So you have account, contacts, campaigns. You can share a lot of data with the partners. So account-to-account relationship, essentially. So let me walk you through with a demo of how this account relationship works. But before I jump into it, let me just explain the personas that I'll be using. So this is a Pacifica fictitious company that we always use to demo. Erika is our channel manager, administrator, marketer, whatever you want to call it, but she works for Pacifica. And she has a huge network of partners, among them James Preston, who's the reseller, and Jack Berry, who's the distributor. So I'm going to cover a lot of things because I'm going to be on the demo. I'll probably cover the account relationship, marketing budgets, and some of the enhancements that Sudhir touched on around the DXP, which is the CMS management and your audience targeting. All right, let's just do. Cool. So here I am logged in as James Preston. I'm the reseller, and as you can see, I love this particular application because in one central place I get access to leads that are being shared by Erica, and I can take action on it. I can accept, reject it, or I can create my own deal registration. So I have tons and tons of options here to interact with Pacifica and broaden the sale through my experience. Not only that, I have access to reports and dashboards and some learning materials that I'll not go through right now, but James Preston is very happy using this tool because this is one central place he can work on. Now, one of the things that he does on a day-to-day basis is he creates a lot of opportunities. He's meeting with customers and he's creating opportunities that are shared with Pacifica, especially Erica. One of the challenges is that he's also working with distributor. Let's switch to Jack Berry's view of it, and he's the distributor and James worked with him. One of the challenges that Jack mentioned to Erica was that he's not able to see the opportunities that James is creating. And this is very crucial in business because you want to be sharing the right information at the right time. That's the crux of your engagement model. Now, Erica happened to be on the release readiness and has read a lot of material, and she found out that account relationship is one of the features that is being released. So she played with it and she feels that it's an awesome feature, and so she wants to give it a try. So with few clicks, she will be able to set up this relationship. Let's say share opportunity. I want to share with Avnet all the reseller opportunities. That's what she's basically declaring, and the relationship is distributor. So just please take a note on the relationship type that I picked because that's the crucial part of it. So once Erica does that and she saves this record, let me go back to Jack Berry and try to refresh his screen and see on the right hand side, he will be able to see more of the opportunities now that are shared or that were created by James. So with few clicks, she was able to set up this account-to-account relationship. So Paul, you may be wondering, this can't be true. That
was way too easy.
This was way too easy.
No code whatsoever.
So I'll be honest, it's not that just one screen. There is one more screen. So let me just show you that. So what happens is, before you set up this account-to-account relationship, you have to identify what you're going to share via this relationship. So if you remember, I picked distributor, and this is the administration screen where you will just come and set up that. So here, what you're defining is that if I pick the relationship as a distributor, I want to share opportunities in a read-only fashion. And if I need an advanced formula, I can build that. So let's say, for example, if I want to only share opportunities that have probability of 75% and more, I can put a formula right in here and save this record. And this particular screen is really driving that relationship or the data visibility that you saw. And so you can do opportunity cases, leads, accounts, whatever you have a business need for. So that's how simple it is. In 2 steps, you can start the sharing model to work. All right, let's switch gears. Erica is also engaged in helping broaden the market and broaden the know-how of the products that the partners need to sell. So one of the tools she uses is called marketing budgets, or in short, other term is also marketing development fund. So let me explain what that is. Marketing development fund is essentially a mechanism where you set aside a budget for your partners. And what happens is once you share that budget with your partners, then your partners can go into the field and start using funds from that budget so that they can market your product in the regions that they are familiar with. It's a very, very common capability in PRM space. So with this spring, what we have done is we have introduced a hierarchy of budgets. That means you can now have budget within a budget. So you can create a nested budget. And this was one of the key requirements. A lot of customers raised it when we met with them. So as you can see on this screen, I have number of budgets. Erica creates and engages with a lot of partners, so she has a lot of budgets. But now with this particular release, she can create a Uber budget or a global budget, and within that she can start creating a very geography-based budgets, if I can call it. So she has a US marketing budget and a EMEA budget, which are rolling up into the sort of the parent budget. Now the other thing is she can easily share this the specific budgets that she may be interested in with partners. So we have introduced another field here on the budget itself. So you can pick a partner on a budget, and with few sharing rules, now you can start sharing the budget itself with James or your reseller. So in this case, this is the view of James Preston. And as you can see, he can have access to the budgets that Erica has given him access to. Now, what he can also do is he can also create budgets if he wants it. So with this spring release, we are enabling not only that budgets can be nested, but also you can share and allow your partners to create on budget. So there are instances where you will delegate this whole work to your partners so that they are savvy enough to execute on it. So that way partners can create also budgets. Now the one other factor that I want to highlight is you can have 5 level of budgets for your internal guys. So Erica can create 5 level deep budget hierarchy. Similarly, your partners can also create a 5 level deep budget hierarchy. So very, very powerful feature. Please take a look at it and let us know your feedback. All right. Now let me switch gear one more time. And this time I will be covering the CMS content management and audience targeting. So the story is Erica is engaged with our partner ecosystem, partner community quite a bit. And in the new year, one of the resolutions she had is that she wants to be engaged more and more and provide a lot of rich content to the partner ecosystem. The way she does it is she can come to the communities and she can go to the workspace. Paul touched on this. This is the central place where you manage your communities. You have access to the builder. That means you do the drag and drop. I'll show you that as well. But she can create tons and tons of content. So if I drill down into it, as you can see, Erica has access to a lot of features while creating the content. If you pay attention to on the left-hand side, there is an ability where she can connect to the external systems like Adobe Experience Manager or WordPress and pull the data, pull the content in to be used for community. That's one aspect of it. The other aspect, which is powerful and which I love it, is Salesforce CRM. That means you can expose the CRM data as a content. One of the classic example could be, let's say, if you're storing products in your CRM data, and if the products have images, you can take that data and create a content out of it. Very, very powerful. The other thing that I would like to do a demonstration on is the CMS content. So now with the CMS content, customers or administrators can create their own content natively within Salesforce. They don't need to go out anywhere. They can right away create the content. So Erica basically she has created a lot of content that she wants to use within her partner community. Now I can drill down. As you can see, she can create a whole bunch of engaging content. She can drag in images, videos, whatnot, and she can tag these content to the topics that she wants to cover. So what I wanted to show you guys is that she can now create collections out of this content. So let me demonstrate how that she'll be able to do it. Let's say she create a collection. There are two ways she can create the collection from. One is from the CMS content, which is the native content that she is generating, or the Salesforce CRM, which is the CRM data. I'll demonstrate the CMS content this time. Now, when I go in here, one thing that I want to highlight is we have done a ton of UI enhancement. It's very simplified this time, if you notice. But the new enhancement that we have done is now you can either manually pick the content that you want as part of this collection, or you can do conditionally. So let me show you how you will do the manual one. So I'll select the manually. I click on next. And as you can see, all the published content that are there, I can pick and choose. Either I can do this way, I can search. There are a lot of options that I can easily create a collection. But the one that I like is the conditional one. So with this ability, I can actually set a rule so that I don't have to come again and again and manually pick and remove it or add it. I can just say, as you notice that all the content was tagged with success stories as a topic. So I can just say wherever the content has topic included for success stories, and I can actually have an advanced formula here. I can say anything that was greater than 1/1/2019. So with few clicks, I'm able to set a collection or create a collection. And as you can see, this is the collection and these are the content that will be part of that.
So if I remember correctly, Vibhor, like last release, the only way to create a collection was by tagging the single pieces of content, and that would be a collection.
Exactly.
So what you're saying now is not only can you do it manually, like choosing the single piece of content, but you can also create different rules and collections.
Absolutely.
Sweet.
Yeah, Erica loves it because this is the flexibility she was always looking for.
Amazing.
Now, she has created the collection. Let's go back to the community builder to see how she will like to expose it. So she has a plan. She thought of creating a new page, dedicated page for success stories. So here it is. It's in the menu item. And this page, she wants to enhance it. She has already some content, but she wants to enrich this thing. So let's see how she will do it. She'll just drop a CMS collection down here. And for the folks who are not familiar with the builder is the central place where you can create your engaging experience using the pages and components. And what it allows you to do is it allows you to preview, it allows you to publish, and all the rich capability that comes with a sort of a CMS publisher is what your builder is. So I've dragged the CMS collection down here. All I have to do is say which collection I want to use. And as you can see, it's in real time, it is refreshing. So it is pulling the data as we speak, but I can keep going and I can start configuring the look and feel of this thing. As you can see, it's all point and click, no coding involved. Erica is able to just pull the content and place it at the right place.
So you can customize the actual component collection as well by choosing different layouts.
Exactly.
And pretty cool.
Yes. And this is all native. DXP is which is powering all this community features. Now let me highlight one other thing which is crucial to it. Many times you may run into this problem that you don't want to expose a particular page or a particular component with everyone. You may have a need for a audience, particular audience. The way you will do it is you will select a component, you'll come to this particular screen, and you'll basically define an audience. I already have one audience defined. So what you are basically setting is, you're saying that for this particular criteria, if it is successful, then only share this particular component. Now I want to highlight a couple of new features that we have introduced in audience targeting. So if I click on add new condition, as you will see, we already have the ability where you could define criteria based on domain, location, and profile and users. But what you will see, a new thing, the permission. This is the permission set that we have introduced with the spring release. A lot of customers have asked for it, and I'm glad to announce that this will be available to you. You can use this in your audience targeting.
I can't tell you like how many customers personally have told me that this would be a great add to the feature set.
Yes, this absolutely. And kudos to your team, Sudhir, who built this. So let me highlight one thing. Previous to this release, you could create a ANDing formula or a OR formula. Those were the sort of the mechanisms you could do it. But with the Spring, which is the coolest thing that I'm going to show it to you, is you can do a custom logic. That means you can do ANDing and ORing. So as you can see, I have these 3 rules here. A channel level has to be gold, and channel program needs to be in the reseller, and industry needs to be manufacturing. But I can probably tweak it. I can say, I want the first 2 to be AND, but the other one to be OR. And by just one change here, I can change the entire logic of how this component needs to be rendered at what time. This is the power of audience targeting, guys.
And all of this applies to components, pages, and branding sets as well.
Yes.
Sweet.
All right.
Sweet.
So this is the end of my demo. Let me just switch back to my slides.
We have
Yep.
just
Very
a minute
quickly,
left, so.
I have 2 more slides. Let me just cover it.
Okay.
The other feature that we are coming up is the community user visibility. This is the GA. We did the pilot last time. What it allows you to do is a finer control on your community. So if you have several communities within your org, you can switch the user visibility per community. So typical cases in partner communities, you probably don't want to expose users who are engaged within that community for many reasons. So there is a way to do it now. Of course, we heard you time and again. Sharing sets was a very important thing for you. And we have been working on it, enhancing a lot of capabilities around that area. And so we have exposed campaigns, orders, and opportunities as part of this release. That means you can start using these objects and in sharing sets so that you can share the data, campaigns, orders, and opportunity with your end users. With that, I think I'm pretty done.
Wow.
Back to you,
This is
Elena.
a huge release. Thank you for sharing all that. Love the account relationships, GA. That's great. Congratulations on that. And
Thank you.
As you can tell, there was a lot of content, but we want to just try to squeeze in 1 or 2 last questions before we wrap up for today. And remember, we are engaging with you in the community, so we will follow up with you if we don't get to it on the air. Sam, what have we got?
This is a great question. Are person accounts supported in account relationships?
No, so we are only focusing on business accounts. That means customer accounts and partner accounts that you can create. Person account is something that is on our roadmap, we will see.
And how many partner account relationships can you create in an org?
Oh, that's a great question. We have set a limit for 1 million in an org. That means you can create that many relationships. I'm pretty sure that's very exhaustive, but you know.
Okay, and I just want to thank Julie for her comment. She says, I love this panel, so much personality. She had one quick question. Collections and rules for publishing content are amazing. Does the sizing automatically adjust if more content is added? And Elna, that's my last question.
Great.
Okay, so if I understood the question correctly, and before you might take that,
Go ahead.
So if I understood the question correctly, it was like, how does the presentation change? Can you change the presentation on the content based on what the content you authored? So your presentation of the content that Vibhor showed on the builder side of things and the content that you author in workspaces are actually completely decoupled. So you can write the content you want, you can add the images however you want it, and the presentation will adjust automatically, right? So you can go make those changes in Builder. If I understood that question correctly, if I did not, please do point it out and do follow up with us, and we'll be happy to answer that for you.
All right. Yeah. Thank you so much. Yeah. Great. Well, that's a wrap. And thank you so much for joining us for Spring 19 Release Readiness Live. If you missed any of these sessions, don't worry. We've recorded them all, and they'll be available on the Salesforce Live site. Now, as I said, if we didn't get your question live, we will follow up with you in the community or in Twitter within the next few days. And if you haven't already clicked on the survey, please do give us your feedback for today's session as well as any others that you may have attended. And we'll see you right back here in a few months for Summer 19. And until then, let's keep the conversation going in the Release Readiness Trailblazers community, because I'm really excited to hear how you are using some of these new features, and all of us are there to help you be release ready. Bye all.